Lucas Bennett had everything most people only dream of. A billionaire tech CEO, founder of one of the most disruptive AI companies in Silicon Valley, and the youngest executive ever to ring the opening bell at NASDAQ. He had money, power, legacy. But behind all the articles, the headlines, the prestige, was a man barely holding on, asterisk his 7-year-old son. Ethan was diagnosed with severe nonverbal autism when he was just 2. Lucas remembered that day like a slow-motion car crash. The white-walled clinic, the quiet voice of the specialist, the diagnosis hitting him harder than any failed deal or hostile boardroom ever could. He may never talk, they said. He may never make eye contact. He may never connect the way you're hoping for. Lucas had nodded politely, left the office, and cried in his car until his shirt was soaked through. Asterisk Ethan didn't speak. He didn't like to be touched. Loud noises caused him to scream and collapse onto the floor. Change in routine could trigger full meltdowns. Crowds overwhelmed him. Even certain textures, the wrong shirt tag, the wrong spoon, could throw the entire day into chaos. Lucas tried everything. Top specialists from Boston to Tokyo, private therapists, behavioral consultants. Every technique with a name he'd tried. Every pill they suggested he'd given. Nothing stuck. Asterisk his marriage didn't survive it. His wife walked out 2 years ago saying she felt invisible. "You're married to your company," she told him. "And your son is too much for me." Lucas didn't fight. He was too tired to. He told the tabloids it was mutual, but inside he knew he was failing. Not just as a husband. As a father. Asterisk that Tuesday the rain had been falling hard since dawn. He'd canceled his meetings after Ethan had a full meltdown in the car, screaming, hitting the window, biting his hand, tears streaming down his little cheeks. Lucas pulled over to the side of the highway and just sat, hands on the steering wheel, trying to remember how to breathe. And when Ethan's sobs turned into soft whimpers, Lucas started the engine and just drove. No destination, just away. Asterisk 30 minutes out of town, they passed through a quiet street, nearly deserted. That's when Lucas spotted it. A small, old-school diner with a red neon open sign flickering faintly in the window. He didn't even think. He turned in, parked under a broken lamppost, and looked in the back seat. Ethan's eyes were glassy. He was rocking slightly, holding his plush dinosaur. His emotional anchor, asterisk Lucas, opened the door and scooped him up carefully. The boy didn't scream this time. Just rested his head against his father's shoulder, exhausted. Inside, the diner smelled like rain-soaked coats and grilled cheese, faded linoleum floors, plastic menus, and the jukebox in the corner that probably hadn't worked since the 90s, asterisk, and that's when he saw her. The waitress. She looked ordinary, but something about her wasn't. She wore a navy apron over a flannel shirt, her hair tied back in a simple ponytail. Maybe mid-30s, tired eyes, but kind. Her name tag read Rachel. Asterisk, she glanced at Lucas, then at Ethan, and something shifted in her gaze. Not pity, not curiosity, just calm awareness. She walked over slowly, hands relaxed at her sides. "Booth by the window's open," she said gently. "Less noise there," asterisk Lucas nodded, stunned. She didn't blink at the sight of Ethan rubbing his ears or rocking side to side. She didn't make that awkward, "Oh, is he okay?" face. She just walked ahead, set 2 glasses of water down, and left them alone for a moment. Asterisk Ethan didn't speak. He never did. He just stared out the window, fixated on the falling rain. Lucas sat across from him, wondering what he was even doing here. And then, without a word, Rachel returned with a small plastic bowl of apple slices, asterisk. "I thought he might like these," she said, placing them in front of Ethan. "They're peeled. My nephew won't eat them with skin either." Asterisk Lucas looked up. How did you know?" Asterisk Rachel smiled softly. "He's flapping his fingers, not his hands. That's often a sensory cue. Usually means he needs something predictable." Asterisk Lucas blinked. Most professionals didn't even know that. "You have a nephew with autism?" he asked. Asterisk, she nodded. "Raised him for 8 years, he's 20 now? Got his first job last summer. Best cashier in town, I swear." Her eyes twinkled with pride. Ethan picked up a slice, slowly, then another. His breathing slowed, his rocking stopped. Lucas stared at the moment like it was a miracle. Rachel didn't hover. She didn't coo at Ethan or try to force interaction. She just moved with quiet awareness, dropping off grilled cheese in a to-go box, cut in triangles, not squares, and 2 forks, 1 plastic, 1 metal. Just in case, she said. Some kids prefer the sound of plastic. Lucas was speechless. His $1 million consultants hadn't shown this level of insight. An hour passed, then another. Ethan didn't melt down. He didn't cry. He didn't scream. He just existed. Peacefully, before they left, Lucas fumbled through his wallet, pulling out $100 bill. "This isn't a tip," he said quietly. "This is gratitude. Real gratitude. You did something today I haven't seen anyone do in years." Rachel took the bill but looked him in the eye. "You're doing the best you can," she said. "That matters more than you think." Lucas left the diner with Ethan asleep in his arms. That night, something in him shifted. The next morning, he emailed his assistant to cancel his week's meetings. He drove back to the diner, and the day after that, and again, each time, Rachel greeted them like family. Not once did she treat Ethan like a problem. She showed Lucas little things. How to introduce picture cards without overwhelming him. How to let Ethan choose between 2 things, not 10. How to signal transitions with a quiet countdown. "Kids like Ethan don't need fixing," she once said. "They need translating." Lucas started taking notes. Video recordings? He even invited a speech pathologist to the diner just to observe Rachel's methods. The woman was stunned. One night, Lucas offered her a job. A full-time consultant position with a 6-figure salary. She declined. "My work is here." Sighed. "I've got 3 kids in this neighborhood who come by after school just to decompress. That means something to me." A few weeks later, Rachel stopped showing up. Lucas panicked. He called the diner. A different waitress answered. She moved back to Montana. Her nephew had a breakdown after his group home closed. She left everything to care for him. Lucas never saw her again, but he never forgot her. Years passed. Ethan, now 11, could form simple sentences. He wore noise-canceling headphones and used a visual scheduler for his day. He smiled when he saw rain, and every time Lucas peeled him an apple, he remembered that day in the diner. At the annual tech conference in San Francisco, Lucas was asked a question, "What's the smartest decision you ever made?" He paused. The room went quiet. "I turned into a random diner on a rainy Tuesday," he said, "and met a waitress who changed my life." He didn't name her. He didn't need to. Instead, he funded a new initiative, the Rachel Project, aimed at training restaurant and retail staff across the country on autism awareness, sensory support, and empathy. He also started a foundation for single caregivers of neurodivergent children. And every grant came with a letter that read, "You don't have to be a doctor to heal someone. Sometimes the right heart changes more than the right resume." Lucas Bennett built a tech empire, but Rachel, a quiet woman in a small-town diner, built something far greater. She built a bridge between a father and his son, and between a world too loud and a boy just trying to be heard.